So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a profit using buy and sell orders on the Steam market. This is a method that you can use with your Steam wallet if you already have money in Steam, if you're thinking of putting your money into Steam. Now just to start with some disclaimers, there will be no way to just instantly double or triple your profit. There is no make money fast method through the Steam buy order system. It's a grind, it's a process, it's about compounding your profit. It's about making a steady profit each day or each week and building up what you're able to work with. Another disclaimer is that the market is always changing, just like any type of economic market. The Steam market is always shifting up and down. Even if you look at cases in the past few days, you can see that there was obviously a huge spike in the past few weeks, and then everything has dropped down. So nothing is guaranteed. No profits will be automatic. And lastly, it is a time-consuming process, and you need to be able to set aside, time and be patient. So essentially, the first step will be to set your budget. This will basically dictate how much you're able to make on a daily or weekly basis, as we're looking for, a good day being 3 to 5% of what you're working with. You can start with 10 or 20 bucks, but don't expect to be making, double that each day. The more you start with, the more you're able to work with, and you'd rather make 3% on $200 than 3% on $20. But it is possible to start with a lower amount. It would just be slower gains. One thing about using a lower budget is that the liquidity and the quantity of the items that you're buying and selling will be a lot easier to work with, as there's a lot more cheaper skins out there than there are knives and whatnot. So this will allow for less time between buy orders and sell orders, which could be good. However, like I said, it will be smaller profits. So the first step is going to be to download a Chrome extension called Steam Inventory Helper. I'll provide a link to it in the description, and this will basically help automate the process for you so that you're not manually checking how much you'd be making between buy and sell orders. It sort of does it for you. Now, just as an example, I found this survival knife case hardened. If you scroll down using the Chrome extension, it will tell you that placing a buy order and then selling right away for what the current prices look like will net you a 9% profit of $17.38. So basically, this just allows you to not have to put into your calculator and calculate it yourself. And this includes the 12% Steam tax that Steam takes away when you sell an item on the market. So once you have that installed, there's not much else you need to do with it. It'll work in the background as long as you activate it. So the next thing you want to do is, after you determine your budget and install the Chrome extension, you want to navigate to the Steam Market page that reflects the budget you're working with, and you want to be utilizing as much of your budget as possible. So if I want to work with a budget of $200, I want to navigate to the Steam Market page that will reflect everything that's around that price range. So what you want to do is click the price button and set it to ascending so that everything that's cheapest is showing first, and then go up to your URL and type in a page number that might reflect where it might be. So for $200, I'm just going to guess it's around page 1750, since I've done this before. And then you just want to scroll back until you find the area that you want to work with. And it's important that you're taking into account the Steam tax and the profit margin you want to make. So in reality, if I'm working with $200, I want to be looking around the 250 range, because that will include the Steam tax and the profit that I want to be making. Okay, so I've found a page where I can start, and from here I'll just go back and hopefully find some things that are within my budget. So at this point, you want to learn what items are good to flip and what will be a waste of your time and money and potentially you might lose profit on. So my first piece of advice would be to stay away from things that have a low quantity. So for example, this P90, if you click on this tab that's provided to you by the Chrome extension, it will tell you the selling trends. So there's been 0 per day, 0 per week, and 3 in the last month. So this is something you want to stay away from, because you see, a great profit margin, you can make 40% on it, but in reality, once you buy it, no one's going to buy it when you list it. So you want to stay away from things that have a low quantity, that have, low liquidity and aren't being sold in the market. So my general rule of thumb for things like knives and things that are more expensive would be to find something with a quantity of around 10 or more on the market. You can go lower. However, you need to make sure that the trends are in your favor and that it's something that looks like you can make a profit on. Okay, so after a few minutes of searching, we found this Babysitting knife freehand field tested. And if we take a look at it, we can see that there are 5 sold per day, 58 per week, which are pretty healthy numbers. This means that you'll be able to get it off your hands if you do wind up making a successful buy order. And another thing that's very important is to look at the graph, especially for the last week. And these are the exact trends that you want to be seeing. The constant up and down means that there are cheap buy orders going through and sell orders also going through at the item's true value. So if you click on week and look at the past week, you can see that there are buy orders going through for $190, $190, you know, around that area. And they are also being sold for what they're worth, $230, $230. So this means that if you take a look at your profit margin, if you're able to execute a buy order at what the current price is for $187.83, then you will be able to sell it for $227.18, which will net you about $10 profit, 5% profit. So basically what I'm saying here is you want to place the next highest buy order. So you'll want to place a buy order for $187.83 so that the next person that quick sells it will sell it to you. And then when you list the item, you will sell it for 1 cent cheaper than the cheapest one you see on the market. Therefore, you'd sell it for $227.18 and you'd make about $10 profit. And the reason that you want to do that with something like this knife is because, like I said, today's May 2nd, and you're seeing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have been sold within the last 24 hours, which is a good sign. It means that you'll be able to get off your hands, and that profit will almost be guaranteed unless something, crazy in the market happens. And here you can also click the View More Details button if you want to see a breakdown of what the buy orders look like currently. So it looks like we're able to place a buy order that will be 1 cent higher than what's currently there. So we'll click Place Buy Order. We'll type 187.83, agree to terms, and place the order. And now you essentially have to wait until your buy order is fulfilled, and you have to babysit it a bit, which I will get into later on. So now that your buy order is put through, you can go navigate to where your buy orders currently are, and the inventory helper also has a tool that's very helpful that allows you to request the prices and see if anyone has outbid you. So you click this Request Prices button, it might be on auto, and here it's showing me that I currently have the highest buy order for the Falchion knife freehand that we were just looking at, and if anything changes, this number will be highlighted in red and it will show the new highest bidder's number, and you'll be able to go back and outbid them. So what I mean by babysitting the buy order is if you want to guarantee, maximum efficiency, you have to be checking to make sure that you still have the highest buy order currently on the market for whatever items you're looking at. And that is the part that is time consuming. That's the part that, you have to be willing and able to constantly check and make sure that your buy orders will be the ones that go through. So what I would recommend is you go through more items that are in your budget and place as many buy orders as you can for items that look profitable and items that are in that selling range that you can get rid of, within a day or 2 or 3 days. Steam allows you to place buy orders on 10 times the amount of your current wallet. So I'd be able to place nearly $2,000 worth of buy orders, which if you think about it could be 10 or 11 knives in this price range, which is a pretty solid, amount of buy orders to have on the market. Now, as far as selling the item and making a profit, let's say my buy order goes through for $187.83. Once I see it in my Steam inventory, I will go to sell it, and I will set the sell price that the customer will be paying to $227.18. And this is another thing that you have to babysit because people can go and list theirs for 1 cent cheaper than yours, and you have to make sure that, the next person to quick buy the knife will be getting yours and not someone else's. So again, if we go back to our tool here, once our listings are posted, we'll be able to request the prices for those as well, and it will tell us if someone has placed a sell order that is cheaper than ours, and we'll be able to take ours down and relist it to make it the most cheap one on the market again. So just to show an example of when you need to replace your buy order, if we click request prices here, we'll see that I've been outbid on the survival knife case hardened. So you want to open that up and see what your buy order was. So I had it for 193.40. Someone bid for 193.43. So we're gonna cancel this buy order. We're going to place a new one for 1 cent higher, so 193.44. Place order, and now ours will be the highest buy order on the market, and the first quick sell will go to us. So like I said, it's going to be a lot of babysitting, a lot of going back and forth and making sure that you have the highest buy order at the current moment, but it will be worth it if you're able to make a profit on it. So just to show you guys what the profit actually looks like, here are 2 examples that I actually fulfilled and made a profit on. So if you want to look at the first one, I picked up the gut knife freehand for $142.20 and was able to execute a sell order that netted me $157.87, which is a $15.67 profit of about 11%, which is great. I'd also like to mention that this was within 24 hours. As you can see, the buy date and the sell date were both April 28th, so it shows that the turnaround can be fairly quick. And then if we take a look at our second example, I picked up the Huntsman knife Brightwater for $163.38, and 2 days later I was able to sell it for a net profit of $5.82, which is about 3.6% profit. Now this one did take 2 days because I had to go back and make sure the sell order was the cheapest one a couple times, and some people were selling it for far below what it is actually valued at, so I had to take it off the market for a couple hours, but eventually I was able to make a profit on it just 48 hours later. Now the main point of this is that yes, it's not, crazy numbers, it's not going to double your money, it's not going to happen within minutes. However, what you want to do is compound this. So essentially what this means is that the more money you're able to work with, the more profit you're able to make on a smaller percentage. So if you're making 11% on $142, that would be much higher on a knife that's $300, $400, $500, $600. So once you get up to that point from making these small profits and putting the time in, you'll be able to start making more as each day and each week comes. I hope you're able to learn something, and I hope that this helped you, and maybe some of you guys will be able to start making a profit through the Steam market in the future.